The Switch 2 has been out for a couple of months now, and maybe you're looking for accessories, and I completely forgot. Genki reached out a couple of months back. It was delayed, and I guess we didn't talk since 8 different accessories show up at my doorstep. This, and this. It's a lot. So I'm gonna unbox them all, give you my quick opinion on each of them. Think of this as a buying guide for Genki accessories, especially for the Switch 2, but the Moonbase in particular is gonna be used for other things, which we'll all cover. I will put the prices on screen, as well as their names. There's gonna be a link in the description, so anything you need, it's all there. Let's not waste a second more and start with the Mimic chest. I don't actually have any Switch 2 cartridges, but I do have a couple of Switch ones, and it's very simple. You get 3 sleeves, up to 12 different slots. I so happen to have a cartridge right next to me. It's not gonna fall at all. It holds very nicely, but if you want to take it out, that's it. You just pull down, pull up, and there it is. If you wanted to like print your own, you could definitely have an insert. The next one is going to be the dual wield charging grips and base. We have our grips here. Another one, our docking station, and a type C to type A cable. You can take one of these and just dock it like that. This is magnet, by the way, so it's not falling down. Whenever you're ready to pull it out, you just pull on it, and otherwise magnet attached. You can take your Joy-Cons. Also magnetized. If you wanted to play using it like this, you could. It's going to give you slightly better grip. I like that you can insert your fingers in the middle. And, you know, Joy-Cons are not necessarily the most comfortable, but with something like this, it's definitely better. And because this is an open design, if you have a split case where you have your Joy-Cons covered, it's still going to work fine with this. So you're going to be able to improve the ergonomics as well. And you have room for 2 sets. You have your type C in the back, and this is what it looks like. It detects that it's charging. And if I remove the right side, the plus goes away. If I wanted to charge them while using the connector, you can do that as well. And you can see the LEDs letting us know here that it's charging. If you dock your Switch a lot, but you do like to use this as a controller, this is one of the better options I've seen. I really like this approach. It does look great. And so there it is. What happens if I put them backwards? Still charging. Nice. Cool. Oh, and you have an eject button. I didn't even realize. Okay. So if you don't like to pull, you can just push the eject button right here, and that'll work as well. Cool. The sleeper case, which is designed to protect your Switch 2 when traveling or just to store. Safekeeping. So we're talking about a zipper. We have a handle in the back, which is a elastic band. This is felt fabric branded at the front with a rubber logo. Sleeves for game cards or micro SDs. This is a very tight fit as a whole. There's, I mean, a little bit of play, so it would probably move a little bit. It's not like super duper tight. It would be best to assume that pretty much nothing else will fit, even like a, you know, a 1-to-1 TPU grip for protection, but not giving you any extra ergonomics. I would expect that even that wouldn't fit because overall it's very tight. There is a little bit of shaking inside, but because it's all fabric, it's all felt, I wouldn't be concerned. And you also have something protecting your screen. And so this is it for the sleeper case. Next, we have the Force Field 2, and we'll see if it fits with the case that I did just now, but I suspect it won't. Now, this one is a uni-body design, so it's all put together, but you do have a hinge to take off the Joy-Cons. This is the only thing that you'll find in the box, and there's something I completely forgot with this accessory when they originally announced it. You have MagSafe connection. We do have a protective top, and that one we can remove like such. The hinge themselves, so they peel back. You also have room for a game card. Store that in your case. Nice little touch, nice little detail. You can just put them back like so. Install your Switch 2, push it up top, and then just close the hinges, and voila. It gives you a little bit of an ergonomic style because this is bumped. However, it's not sharp in a way that it would sink into your hand, but it's not necessarily the most comfortable. I find here that the angle is maybe a little too abrupt, and you feel it. You have room for your kickstand, so you won't lose that feature. And of course, you have the MagSafe that we mentioned. And in terms of the push pin system to release your Joy-Cons, it's still free to go, but you'll have to lift up to be able to release your Joy-Con. So overall, this is a very quick operation. That's definitely something I can appreciate. It's very quick and easy to release the Joy-Cons. There you go. and put them back. That's very neat. Like if you want something that feels very put together and you don't feel flex because, you know, it's one unit, that could also be beneficial for some people. But here's a big question. Will I be able to dock it while using this? I think I might. Because this is quite slim. Oh yeah, you can dock it, no problem. This fits perfectly fine. So, okay, that's cool. You can dock it as well. And like we still have a little bit of play to move it. You can really put this on and never remove it. And if ever you need to remove the Joy-Cons, it's a very quick operation. In fact, I can even do it while docked. I can't go all the way back, but I can still do it while it's docked. Another very well executed accessory. You still have the top layer that you can just slap on top like so. And you lose the top USB-C, but the bottom one is still uncovered, so you can charge at the same time. And this gives you pretty much a 360-degree protection. And this is really snug. It doesn't move at all in this case. We talked about MagSafe. And that's the absolute control that I'm working on a review for. It gives you an ability for upgrade down the road, but there is one specific accessory that is, as far as I understand, designed to work with that case and the fact that they put MagSafe on. It is our 5th accessory in the list. It is the Energy Pack 30-watt MagSafe power bank. Now, technically, the Switch 2 can take up to 45-watt charging. I haven't seen the scenario where it needs all 45 watts, so I believe this is going to be able to charge it just fine. And here we have the battery bank, which indeed is a very, very flat profile. It's just about the same thickness as the Switch 2. Also not too heavy. You can just slap it like that and it holds using MagSafe. If I shake it like a madman, it can move a little bit. Okay. I've seen some MagSafe be a lot stronger than that, but I don't think the issue is with the battery itself. It's with the case, but it's strong enough. Like if you're going to be walking around holding this, I think they could have done a better job when it comes to the MagSafe as a whole. And before we go any further, it'll charge the iPhone. You can sort of double down with this solution as something that'll charge your phone. But on your Switch, while you know it feels as this one unit, it will add weight. You do feel that the weight is more on one side. It's not the end of the world because it sits in your palms anyways, but this is something to keep in mind. You can feel the balance having shifted a little bit. And then when talking about the Switch 2, of course, you will need a wire, which I would assume is probably going to be in the box. They have replacement MagSafe rings. And yeah, USB-C Type-C to Type-C connector. Now, I don't know exactly how much time that it should out on the Switch. I would assume that they'll probably mention it on the website, so I'll put it on screen. Our status update with the little screen. When it is charging, you also get more information, the output, how much it's using wirelessly. So that's cool. That's a nice touch that it can tell you how much power it's using at the very moment that you're using it. I have this little Genki cable for another device that I bought from them. That little cable right here. And plug that on top of my Switch 2. Now, you see, because the cable applies a pressure, it's actually pushing the battery away. I really wish they made MagSafe a little stronger. Now it's fine now that I set it up, but like it's easy to rock away from where it's supposed to be. And yeah, you can see right now that it's using 15 watt out of the USB-C. And last test, I guess, can we do both at the same time? No. Okay, my phone did not detect the battery. So if USB-C is being used, the wireless charging will not. That's actually a good thing because otherwise I feel like that battery would have been overdriven and probably gotten really, really warm, which could affect the longevity, the lifespan of the battery as a whole. Oh, you can actually alternate between USB-C and wireless by just pushing the button. Keep in mind that this case is designed to work perfectly well with this battery pack, but there's also another case, which we'll look into right now. And that case is the Attack Vector. That was one that I originally ordered. When they announced delays, I ended up canceling it. So I guess I'll get to try it. And again, thank you, Genki, for sending all these different accessories. Now that has no impact on my opinions, but nonetheless, it is a nice gesture of them so I can showcase it for you guys. And let's go back to the product in hand and see what this one looks like. Particular with this one is that you'll have grips that you can remove or add. We have a little cheat sheet. Little stickers to stick it in. Okay, seems like that one is also MagSafe enabled. The grips, and we have our other options beneath. Let's start by inserting this piece that goes on the body itself. Your kickstand will be easy to deploy. It's not gonna prevent that. Yeah, the hold is a little bit better here. The little line here to align is still not super great, but the ring itself holds tighter. Now, if I shake it, I don't expect it's gonna fall, and that one hasn't moved at all. So yeah, this is definitely a stronger hold. These modules should be removable, clipped in, and you just pull it down and there it is. If you were to like not use a grip, you do feel that, right? So it almost feels as big as without the sleeve at all. So it's a very, very thin layer of plastic that you have to add on top. But then you have this little bit of texture that could be bothersome to some people. If you don't put a grip there, each mark with the sides, insert it, and then you slide up the other side. Very easy to slide in. We have that little bit of gap, so that shouldn't come undone. We still have the flex from the Joy-Cons. Yeah, no, it's not coming undone. This is a this is a very, very different ergonomic style. So I've been using the D-brand ones, and these push you out way more. I will say right off the bat, for the D-pad, it's going to be a lot more comfortable because the Joy-Cons as a whole, you feel so cramped if you're trying to use these buttons. The sticks are okay, but they're also better here. In fact, the way that this pushes your arms out, it's almost like it's creating the vertical stack of buttons and sticks to be slightly misaligned, which would be ideal, but is not the case with the Joy-Cons. So here, rather than misaligning the buttons, it's misaligning your hand, and it gives you the same flexibility with your thumb and your joints. That's nice actually. And it also has the grittiness as well as those little strips, kind of like what you have on the D brand, a competitor model that is also quite good. This one might take a little bit more of getting used to. It's not something we see every day, the way that it pushes your hands out, but it's quite comfortable. I can already say I like how this feels. That's the great thing with this case is you have options. So let's change. This feels a lot more like the Switch 2 without any accessories. It's a lot more minute in terms of the ergonomics that it's trying to impose on your grip. It's very, very discreet, but you have a better grip as a whole. First, because of the texture, and then you have those little oval almost looking things. Personally, I want something that's a little bit more aggressive in the ergonomics. So for me, that's probably not my favorite set. In fact, I don't think I'd use that set at all, but it's nice that we have it. Oh, and before I forget, let me confirm that this can also be docked. And yes, no problems. This docks easy peasy, lemon squeezy. You do have to be careful though. I just removed the grip by pushing down unintentionally while making sure that everything was docked. That's why you want to use those stickers, right? Because this is quite easy, especially this side. It's quite easy to get undone even unintentionally. So with the stickers, if you know that this is the grip you like, you install them once and you never have to bother anymore. I don't know if Genki are selling this separate part, but I hope they do. If they don't, I hope they will in the future, because I could see people want to have like an extra set to use those other grips for when they want to change. Let me try the last one, which seems to be kind of in between. This pushes me. I didn't think it was going to be the case. This is like flatter, but also wider. It pushes me out more, but the profile in the back is more flat. I think I like this one less than the first one. The first one is my favorite. That would probably be second, and then the small one would be third. It's not unpleasant though, but on this one, I guess this is gonna work for bigger hands. For me, I feel like I'm being pulled away too much, so this wouldn't work for me personally. And to remove, it's quite easy. Attack from where they least expect. Attack vector. All right, that leaves us two accessories. Aegis Shield, and it so turns out that the current screen protector I have, there was a bit of a bad installation. There was a speck of dust, so I had to lift it to remove it. And of course, the adhesive on the corner was damaged. Kind of nice because I like perfect installations. So I'll get to hopefully do it again, and this time do it well. Okay, preparation instructions. Remove controllers before install using clean wipes. They give you two screen protector. One is already charged, and then you have a backup for whenever you need. So I'm just going to store this one. In that little box, we should have all the things we need. Alcohol pad and a wiping cloth, as well as a spudger. Now we want to remove the controllers. Of course, I'm going to have to remove the one that I currently have. But before I do, let me just go read the manual one last time. Okay, so it's going to be very simple. Once I remove the screen protector, I'm just going to put this on, align it like so, then pull it, and then just apply some pressure, and then after 30 seconds, we lift it and make sure that everything else is clean. I like the setup. This looks quite interesting. I do have a bit of concern for dust. I don't exactly understand how this works, but I mean, logically speaking, if my screen has dust, and I'm in a basement, so there's a lot of it, so we'll try to do a good job. And now we'll use one of those alcohol pads. I know it's going to sound like I'm almost grasping at straws here, but the quality of the fabric for the alcohol pad is quite good. Like there's an obvious difference between what I usually get whenever I buy like a cheap screen protector on Amazon. I do kind of wish that they had those little stickers that you can sort, because you know, sometimes there's like micro dust that you don't see. And especially for me, because I'm in a basement, I feel like I'm never fully rid of all the dust. So I usually go over with the sticker, but anyways. Okay. And now I put this on. I want to find the right angle for this. And now we just apply. Lift it one side while I apply pressure. That's what I'm going to do. Oh, I guess there's a film over it. Oh, wait, what? There it is. Okay, there was a film over. And now with the switcher, make sure that there is no, there's a little piece of dust that got in, but you know what? It's fine. I've installed screen protectors for years. I install them regularly because, you know, I review a lot of devices. I buy a lot of devices. It's cool that you have this system that makes it very, very easy if you're not comfortable with those. For me personally, because I've done it so much, like I have my system, but this is perfectly aligned. That was very easy, very foolproof, so to speak. So yeah, it's a nice accessory. I like that they give you two. So if you, for some reason, the first one doesn't go well, you have a solution. What I'm probably going to end up doing is take a pre-existing sticker that I had from a previous installation, lift the corners, and remove this because, yeah, I know I'm a little overzealous when it comes to these things. I risk damaging the glass, or not damaging, but bending rather the glass. But you know what? I'll take a gamble. And this way I can show you guys what it looks like. So let me do it quick. Sometimes there's like little particles stuck under the nail, so you want to be careful. But anyways, I'm going to lift it a little bit. Slide it right in, apply pressure, pull. There you go. Okay, so that corner, but you see, I lifted it. So I have the exact same issue. Now that's not on Genki, that's on me, but that's okay. And then if I do the exact same thing with the other side, there you go. See, that corner didn't lift. Nice. So that corner is fine. The other one, unfortunately. A nice glass screen installation. Oh, I have another speck of dust right here. Dang. That's why I don't usually install these in the basement. All right, last accessory. This 7-in-1 Moonbase supercharger. And that's one that I've seen a lot of people say how much they want to buy this thing. It looks cool. It has, you know, some RGB to it, but it also has 4 USB ports that can keep charged many different devices, including PC handhelds. So while this is being packaged with the Switch 2 video, this is good for a lot of things that are not necessarily Switch 2 related. However, it is fully supported with the Switch 2. And my understanding is that with just using a USB-C cable, we'll be able to make sure that the Switch 2 stays powered as well. So if you don't want to have a dock, if you just want to have a cable running from this base, you could do that as well. Let's unpack it. Here it is. The Moonbase. We have a turquoise, aqua-ish power cord. Now they do have 2 different colors. This is the one that they sent me, the darker one, which I much prefer. I usually prefer dark electronics to light electronics. And we have 140 watt for the first port, 100 watt for the second, and then 30 for the other 2. Xbox Rogue Ally X, a Switch 2, and you know, cell phones or tablets, all 4 ports connected at the same time. you're going to be fine with, even if it's up to 140 watts. Now these ports, they don't rotate, they don't push, they do stick out, so you're always going to have room. Like if you have a big block, it's going to fit just nice because they're very spacious. And then this is independent of your USB-Cs. So, you know, if for some reason you're not able to supply power to the devices, you can still reserve one of your outlet to make sure that you use a separate charger that'll give you all the juice that you need. It comes with a branded Velcro strap. So I'm going to go ahead and plug it. Oh, and the connector is also angled. So, you know, technically, as it's in an outlet, it's angled to the right and bottom. Once plugged in, you can tell that there's a very faint RGB around the rings. Looks quite good. And if you don't like the color that it's on or the RGB effect as a whole, you do have a touch sensitive button right here where you can cycle from different modes. And you can shut the RGB altogether. But the the button will always have a ring around it. So at least you can use that as an indicator that it's powered. All right, so using a USB-C, let's go ahead and power the Switch 2 using just that. And indeed, we're getting all the juice we need. Using the same connector to an Xbox Ally X, and we do get the 35 watt turbo supported. And if I was to use that while powering my Switch 2, there you go. Everyone is getting all the juice they need, no problems. Let's add a fast charging Red Magic 10S Pro. Yeah, we get the rapid charge here. The Switch 2 is charging fine, and we have our 35 watt turbo. So that's using 3 of the 4 USB-Cs. This is a persistent 140 watt, persistent 100, and then persistent 30 watt. That's pretty good. That's honestly a lot of power. Now I understand why it is costly, because it is not cheap. Granted, it is not cheap, but man, is it good quality. And then on top of that, I could grab one of those and put this right here. Run a cable through that and charge whatever else device that I wanted. And of course have 2 more ports, 2 more outlets to plug other devices in. 8 different accessories that you can use with your Switch 2 and other devices when talking about the Moonbase, and just have a quick look at all the different options. If you don't know, Genki right now, I think they're still having some legal conundrum, let's call it that, with Nintendo, and their accessory line took a minute. It took a while before it released, but I must admit, it was well worth the wait. Everything I tested today was very, very good quality. They have things that I haven't seen elsewhere, like for example, that MagSafe connector, which can prove to be useful in some scenarios, and potentially even more so in others if you're trying to do something like strap your phone on top using the MagSafe connector. So I think overall that this is a great collection. And so once again, thank you Genki for sending all those accessories for me to review. If you have questions about any of them, make sure to drop them in the comment box. I'll do my best to answer. And as always, if you enjoyed this video, consider hitting the like and to subscribe to not miss any future gaming tech content from the channel. My name is Clef. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.